Ready?
Yeah.
Part 2. Okay. Woo! Welcome back, everyone. Steph and Rach here. We are diving in today into our part 2 of episode 2, just building off of that money mindset. Last episode, we left you at going away, reflecting on your own money mindset. Maybe you took the quiz. Maybe you asked yourself some of the questions that we were talking about in the episode. And hopefully you had a little bit of opportunity to do some gratitude practice, some things you're really thankful for. So today what we want to build off of is just review quickly about a scarcity mindset and how we're moving away. That is so in last week, last episode, whatever you want to say.
Last year.
So last
Cringe.
year. Yeah. And we're still at the beginning of 2024.
Now. Did you know that? Like that's
really?
So actually
cringe.
No, wait. I think cringe was actually like 6 months ago, and I don't think they say that anymore. It's hard to keep up, but they used to
so
say
hard.
It's so cringe.
Cringe. See, it's so I feel so strange saying that. I'm like, it's these terms. I don't think I'll ever get it. As our kids get to be teenagers, I'm not going to be the cool mom. I thought I would be, but I don't think I'm going to be.
There's no way.
No. But anyways, so yeah, leave it in last year. Release it with the full moon. There was a full moon last night. It was in Virgo. I love all that astrology stuff. So let it go. Full moons are a beautiful time to release and bring in new intentions, manifestations. So we're going to be manifesting some abundance today. All right. So quick review. Signs of a scarcity mindset. Things that maybe resonate with you. Living paycheck to paycheck. Feeling overwhelmed, depressed, or apathetic or down about your finances. Feeling guilty of past financial mistakes. Feeling jealous of how others handle their money or how wealthy they seem. Feeling upset or discouraged with your current financial situation. Believing there isn't enough to go around. So money, opportunities, jobs, time. Living in the short term because you don't see a long-term option for you. So another way to say it, living for today rather than for your future.
Mm-hmm.
If any of these resonate with you, it's okay. Because that means there's an opportunity for growth. We're going to start to let go of these scarcity mindsets and going into the abundance. So step 1 of this, we're mastering our money mindset. Hey, Rach? So yes. We got the listeners to reflect on their financial perspectives. So some of the questions you might have asked yourself in that questionnaire: what are your beliefs about money? How was money viewed when you were growing up? How does it make you feel? Uncomfortable, sad, hopeful, hopeless? When you look at your bank account, how does it make you feel? What thoughts come up around this? Lots of other questions here in the show notes we still have if you want to take another look. But now that we've done this reflective piece, we've brought our awareness here. Rach, dive us into step 2. How are we adopting this positive abundance money mindset?
Yeah, and I do just want to say quickly before I talk about that, I cycle through some of this scarcity mindset. I think I mostly live within the abundance mindset, but they're depending on what is happening in life, especially with kids, like random bills pop up. If you own a home, your furnace goes, like there's no shame in experiencing some of these feelings. So there have been times I'm paycheck to paycheck because of whatever expense that has popped up that we just hadn't even budgeted for in our savings. And there are times that we're not. So it's okay. It's one of those things that you can acknowledge and just say, okay, been here, let's move along. But no shame in that game. It happened.
No. Thanks for normalizing that, Rach, because that's true. I too, I especially feeling guilty of past financial mistakes, things I didn't do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or it does cycle because there's good times in your, business or your job or that it's going really well, and other times where things aren't as predictable or aren't going as well or things pop up. So yeah, True.
So, to adopt a positive money mindset, what we're really trying to do ourselves and encourage our listeners, our viewers to do is to shift your perspective on finances. So, you can do this in how whatever way works for you, but what we want to encourage is financial affirmations. So, it's really the way that you talk to yourself. And Steph, I think you'll agree, we have positive affirmations in all aspects of our lives.
All.
Uh, Not just when it comes to finances, when it comes to our bodies, our hearts. We have a lot of grace for ourselves and I think for each other. And and why not have it in this field as well? So it's the way that you talk to yourself and how you talk about, your current activities, specifically right now with your finances. You just need to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. And I think a really good trick for me is, would I say this to my friend?
Mm-hmm.
If I wouldn't say it to your beautiful face, Stephanie, there's no way I'm going to say it to myself in the mirror or within my head. Or I might, but then I'll be like, okay, bitch, stay in your lane. Not today. So I think this part's really important, and I don't think it's that hard. I think once you get into the habit of these positive affirmations, it gets a lot easier.
And if you want to go like just off of those, like it's like rewiring your brain, and that sounds like kind of scary, but it's the more the neurons that fire together wire together, and that's coming from my like healthcare background. However, that is just so true, and it takes time, and you will fall into old habits and thinking patterns, and that's normal, and that's okay, and you can just pick up where you are, right? And one thing I wanted to add to what you said, because it's so key, Rach, with speaking to yourself how you speak to a friend, and also looking at what you're consuming on social media and in your life. Those have bigger impacts on our mindset than we realize. So if we are consuming more of things that are making us feel in lack, like we don't have enough, like we're not enough, whether it's a beauty thing, materialistic thing, health thing, money, whatever. Be very mindful of that. I actually was just showing Rach the other night my feed. It's so funny. It's like self-improvement, like quotes and things like that, financial tips and tricks, parenting tips and tricks, and Disney.
Stephanie, I'm actually surprised there's no Disney anything behind you. Like, if anything, that should be Minnie and Mickey as your skeletons.
It should be, oh, here, I have a Minnie or a Mickey sticker close by. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And like Steph knows, I'm not on social. It is not a safe place for me. So I actually kind of forgot about that. So thanks for bringing it up. But it is what you're consuming, and not just what you're choosing to consume, but it's also what's being pushed to you, right? So it's just to acknowledge that the algorithm may not be helping you. It may not be affecting you in a positive way or bringing you value. So,
and it might not be totally transparent. Like, Rach, what were you telling me? What was the algorithm pushing to you about like fashion and wealth recently? Do you remember that?
Yeah. So we've been, obviously, Steph and I talk a lot about wealth. And so I don't have social, but I do go on Apple News, and I am very adamant that this thing is always listing. So what was popping up on my Apple News was more about how to dress like you have wealth on a budget. I was like, I can't believe this. I was surprised, one, that wealth for Apple News and probably my age and my gender was giving me fashion tips instead of like, hey, stock that you should invest in, or maybe Motley Fool news. Like, why are you telling me about fashion? Why can't you tell me like what stock has the best dividend right now?
Right.
So I was kind of pissed off. Like, if you're gonna feed me
Fair
something,
enough.
can you help have it benefit me? But here we are. So pay attention to what you say to yourself when you come into money. So whether that's through salary, bonus, wage, promotion, just an unexpected windfall. How are you talking to yourself about that? Are you saying, yes, deserved this? It's about time, open to more? Or are you saying, probably shouldn't have gotten this, or not worthy, or think about that. Be mindful of that. Questions about or conversations around where you're directing your money, to your needs, to your wants. What how are you discussing that with yourself? I know I get a bit down on myself when I pay for parking. I have like a big I don't it's not even a discussion. It's just like, you should have taken the train, Rachel. Like, why are you parking in this underground parkade? The train would have been just fine. And then when I'm on the train, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was in my car. So just conversations around that.
And
Um,
so just Rach, like that's a really good one. And I just wonder too, if we're talking about switching and flipping the script, it's like, wow, I am so grateful I have the ability to take the car and pay for parking. How much
mhm,
time did I just save?
mhm.
Because when you are taking your car, it's convenience. And your time is also a
Worth
commodity, an
something.
energy. It's worth something.
Yeah.
And was your time that you saved worth more than that parking?
Some days it is, some days it's not. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
being able to recognize when I'm just yeah, when I could be taking the train. But you're right. Um and then so if any of these situations result in negative self-talk, like Steph just said, it's time to rewrite the script. So how can you change the way you're speaking to yourself so that it's more positive? Um, so one example is about that promotion piece. So instead of saying, I'll never get that promotion, what you could say is, all I can do is ask and prove my worth. If they say no, I'll try again in 6 months because I know my value. Actually, Steph, I like this because I'm in a crossroads right now where my boss left the company. So there's an opening, and I keep I keep meditating, if you will, on getting this promotion. It's not that I don't think I'm worthy. It's very much just, I called it the other day to my colleague, this extended interview. Like, I'm on an extended interview where I'm proving my worth. And in the back of my head, I'm like, if they don't see this, that's on them. But if I get this promotion, it's well deserved. So this one's timely for me. What's a money mantra, Steph, or mantra that you've been practicing?
It's a good question. So I just want to say with what you were just saying there, often with that, like the promotions and stuff, like I think where I'm going with anything in my life is like trying to let go, take action on things, but let go of the outcome because I know that I'm an attractor of what's meant for me. And that might sound super fluffy and out there, but just even with that promotion for you, Rach, like I will continue to put in the effort of like just the quality of work that I know I can produce. And you are deserving either way, if you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. But if
Mm-hmm.
that's meant for you, it's going to come to you. And it's a protection, right? So, anyways, but for a money mindset, what have I been my mantra? Few different things I've really started adopting, bringing into my life. When I see a deposit in my bank account, thank you. I am so grateful for every single deposit that comes in my bank account, no matter how big or small. So just thanking, a gratitude, coming back from our last episode, gratitude. And there's more than enough to go around. There's more than enough for everyone. In a business, in my business specifically, there's a lot of professionals right now starting their own practice. There's a lot of people who are leaving to do their own thing. And I am always like supporting those people, even if they're leaving us to go do their own thing. And I know that there is way more for everyone out there to be
Mm-hmm.
successful. And I think that's been a really key one around money and just life in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no limit, right? It's kind of like when you have your first child and you're like, oh, there's just no way I could love another as much as I love this one. Or your first dog, whoever your baby is, fur or not fur, or in my oldest case, some fur for the first couple months. It's really just like the pool is deep and it is never ending. You have your second, you're like, oh, I didn't realize my heart could just double in size. So even when it comes to success and um, just others in your community that are grinding and doing their best to make a life for themselves, there's enough. There is enough. And what greater gift than supporting someone and potentially being that positive influence on their journey? Like that's important and that is powerful.
Very powerful. And also coming back to this like hustle grinding culture that you're worthy of people's time, of money, of success without selling your soul
Mm-hmm.
and without having to negate or neglect other areas of your life. This
Mm-hmm.
is one I've been working on that, I am worthy as I am of these things. And I do not need to compromise health, excess time. But we are in a very hustle culture and a very
Mm-hmm.
like grinding culture still. And I'm on the journey of coming home to uh,
Peace.
being and
Mm.
peace, being and attracting. I'm not chasing anything anymore.
I'm chasing Denzel Washington just for one autograph. Like I just want one. I just want one.
Denzel, eh?
Yeah. Oh,
Denzel.
such a soft
What
spot or a heart
what
spot for
movie?
Denzel.
Or which is just in general? Is there like a movie that you're like, oh, I
All
just
of
love
them.
all of
All of
them?
them. Yes.
What is
Pelican
he in
Brief
like
maybe is my favorite. Sorry.
Pelican Brief? Okay. No, I was trying to think of Denzel and like he's got a good voice.
Like he should. Yes. He if he
Is he
recorded a
podcasting?
book, I would listen to it just to say me and Denzel need an hour together.
Well, Rach, when podcast takes off and we start having special guests on here,
Denzel?
Denzel, I'm sure he'll have a lot of great insight to contribute with
I
wealth, wisdom,
mean,
and well-being.
shut my video off and just mute my mic because I will be incapacitated.
I'll be hosting the interview. Rach will
I
just
will
be in la
be.
la la. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be wiping up my drool. Um, oh man, yeah. So, Steph, how do we shift our money mindset? How do we shift our money mindset to start saving money?
I think we've talked about a few of the things already. Your awareness, switching to retraining your brain from negative to positive affirmations. And so, what we want to do is also know what your goal is. So, after you've done that, what goals do you have? What is important to you? Who cares about what everyone else wants? What do you want? You want more
Mm-hmm.
time with your family? Do you want a 3,000 square foot house? Do you want to travel every 3 months? Do you want to take 5 months out of the year off to relax and be in nature? I don't know. So, where do you want to be? And I used to set such long term goals. And as like, especially as a female, coming more into my feminine power and my being rather than doing, I've hustled and I've been in the doing masculine energy so long. And this is where I'm learning and my growth coming from being. So being in the feminine power energy with setting goals you're more in the here and now, and you're looking about 12 months out. We're not looking into 5, 20 years. We're more looking in the here and now. So with that being said, it might be something you want to consider in the next 6 to 12 months. Where do I want to be with my finances? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
clearly define. Yeah, go Rach.
I think this is a moving goal as well, right? Like this can change with as your life changes. The other day, I had mentioned to my partner, because we, in oil and gas, we got bonused. So this money comes in, and I'm saying to Aaron, like, what do you want to do with this? And he says, well, you decide. You can, you decide where it needs to go. And rather than me kind of pull the trigger, which I'm happy to do, I really asked him to just take a pause, and I asked him exactly this. What are the goals? Like, what do you see for success or for the family 12 months from now? And then maybe 5 years from now? Nothing super specific. Just even if you kind of pictured your life as a movie, what is that 20-second clip? And I feel like that is easier for me to comprehend than thinking like, I don't know what it is. When I think, okay, I'm going to write down my goal from a year from now or 5 years from now, I feel like that's very difficult. But if I just tell myself, okay, what does it look like? Like, what am I doing? Am I skiing? Does my mortgage balance look lower? Like, what is that? That's easier for me to do. So that's what I asked my partner to do. I said, talk to me. I think we have coffee this afternoon. We're going to discuss it.
Nice.
What does that look like for you? And then to get there, that will kind of guide the decisions we make, right? In the short while, to actually fulfill the movie reel, to live it. So it's I like the goals, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be simple.
Absolutely. And making that intentional time with your partner, and good for you for pausing and just like letting him, just, okay, actually let's feel this. Let's envision this. What can this be? Because goals are so much more than just writing it down. And I think I hear what you're saying around that. Maybe there's pressure when you write something so specific, but whereas if you embody the feeling you want to have, like if it's like the joy and these type of things, that's what's going to bring your goals to fruition too. Because you've got that like visceral reaction in your body starting to associate and connect with that vision, whatever that reel, your movie reel is for you. And with the goal setting, I do still like to get specific for the clarity. So there is something called SMART goals you might consider, where it's a specific goal, it is measurable. So whether it's, like you wanted to buy a certain car, for example, or you wanted to, have a daily gratitude practice or something like that. It's measurable. Like you said it, you can do it. And then attainable. Is it something that's like attainable in your time that you're going to be setting, realistic and timely? So that can be helpful just as some framework, but having flexibility around that, like Rach is saying, to make it a movie reel, to feel the feeling, I think is more important than that writing of the goal, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so when we go into, if we're having some financial goals, which that's what we're talking about today, but if you're monitoring your spending, not if, like that's what you need to be doing is monitoring your spending, ensuring that your income coming in is less than what is going out.
Sorry, backwards. Don't do that. Your income coming in is more than what's going on.
Okay.
You want to do that again?
Yes. Please make sure that your income coming in is more than your expenses going out. You get it?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Woohoo! So that means we've got to be looking at our expenses on a set time. Like Rachel's going to go have coffee with her partner today and chat about visions and things, but having a set aside time for budget.
And there's so many tools now at your fingertips for this. Like I remember, I don't know, 21, 22 when I first got like my real adult job, and I was putting in a spreadsheet, right? Like, okay, this is what I'm bringing in. This is the cost of my vehicle, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have to spreadsheet yourself anymore. Like I bank with TD. Good or bad, doesn't matter. It's one of the banks in Canada. And they have what's called TD My Spend. So I get a notification every time I spend, which sometimes I'm just like, okay, this is extra. Like I know I'm spending this. You don't need to rub it in my face. But what I like about it is it has kind of a gauge. So I can see January to December of last year, my average spend, or no, it would be the total spend in the month, and I can see where I'm fluctuating. So this month, because we bought summer camps for the boys, and had to get the brakes on the car done. So this month is above average. So TD, my spend just says, hey, Rachel, you're spending a bit more than you usually do. So it's truly at your fingertips. Like there's easy ways to track your income and your expenses. Cash is difficult to track. So if you are spending cash, taking money out of the ATM, or maybe you're getting paid in cash, this one you will likely have to be more diligent and write down and track or throw in your phone, whatever it might be. That one is harder to note, I guess, electronically. So just be aware of that if you're a cash person.
Good point. Yeah, there's lots of different systems out there, so it's what works best for you and your lifestyle, really. And I like how the banks are integrating it more into their apps now rather than having to use like a third party type of tracking app. Yeah, absolutely. So Rach, like just to do a bit of a wrap up here, we've talked about most of the steps today. We're looking at the final step here, so committing to changing money habits. So what are we going to be doing next to support our listeners in changing these habits? I mean, we're going to give you the information. We can't do it for you. I wish we could.
So I think it's just, this is how we started on our journey, and this was kind of the guide we used. And that's what we're sharing with you. So this is a potential guide for you to change your money habits. So we encourage you to think about your relationship with money, as we've discussed, your money mindset. Do the tracking of your expenses and your income so you understand what you have coming in and what's going out. Do not keep your head in the sand. And then let's commit to some habits. So for us, it was doing just this, identifying our money mindset, tracking our spending. You have to have a baseline. So that's really like, where are you today? And then we started gathering information. So we started talking about, what each of us were doing as far as our financial lives, sharing the resources that were working for us. So, Steph, what did you learn about EFTs? I'm an RSP girl, so we'd compare notes on that. But it's really just doing your homework. We subscribe to Motley Fool, which is a Canadian kind of an investment blog. Listening to podcasts, reading material that we found useful, and just continuing to share in these conversations and really compare notes, and learn what we can from each other.
And just like to end off, like a really friendly reminder, we just really want to focus and emphasize to just appreciate where you're at currently, and know that awareness is going to be so key to getting to where you want to go. Have lots of passion and grace for yourself in this process and in your learning, and just sit with the feelings that come up. There's going to be a bit of emotional roller coaster, so expect that. It's not going to be all fuzzy, warm feelings. It's going to be uncomfortable. but we know that's what we need to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to end off on this quote here. So you do the best that you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Maya Angelou.
Yeah, I think that's great, because when you do know better, you do better with anything. My first marinara sauce was ketchup out of a bottle. And then I learned more. I know better. I do better. Now it's like chef's
kiss.
Yeah. So I love that. It can apply to anything.
Yeah, it can. And so on our next episode, we're going to dive into strengthening our financial literacy. That's where we're going, everyone. We're going to be breaking down all the mumbo jumbo lingo and just make it simple. Simplify. Word of the year.
Love it. Yes, I'm excited about it. And a big buzzword is what I'm learning about the internet, this financial literacy. So I like that we're gonna get after it.
Yeah, I guess. Come back for more. As always, comments, drop them in there. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. This podcast is designed to provide listeners and viewers with a general overview of how to start investing and growing wealth, provide value to our communities, and live a life of wellness. It is not designed to be a definitive investment guide or life guide to take the place of a qualified financial planner or other professionals. Given the risk involved in investing of almost any kind, there is no guarantee that the investment method suggested in your personal or financial life will be profitable. We do not assume liability of any kind for any losses that may be sustained as a result of applying the methods suggested in this podcast, and any such liability is hereby expressly disclaimed.